And this, we're not approving it. Yeah.
I don't have a document for you to.
I know you don't. Well, okay. Do I need a motion? Second, reopen?
Make a motion to reconvene.
Second.
Motion, second. We are reconvened. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are reconvened. Where we sit currently, we've gone through budget initiatives, which we've been going through for months now. We've eliminated Downtown District Plan, 175th Street and I-35 infrastructure study. Marketing and rebranding has been eliminated. Park maintenance building study has been eliminated. Land development code update has been kept, so has economic development corporation money, and the incentive strategy and the improved quality of life. We've approved the downtown sidewalks for the community development block grant and mixed youth leadership. Before we go on, I'm going to toss it to Cheryl. She brought up a point. We had the Secretary of Transportation here back in January and presented him some, took him around the city and showed him some things, and his organization is the one that came with the 80-20 study that would have cost us $15,000 and the state $60,000. But Cheryl has thoughts on that I'd like for her to be able to share as not just a city administrator, but a former Florida Department of Transportation employee. Cheryl?
Yeah, the study that DOT, when the Secretary came to the city and we met with Secretary King, one of the things we presented to him is that we were going to be looking at, on the heels of our comprehensive plan, trying to create a vibrant downtown, because that was some of the feedback that we received already. One of the things that we talked about that was an impediment to downtown was the width of 56 in the core of that area. So we asked the state to consider helping us to at least review and evaluate that and trying to narrow 56 for a particular distance, be it either to Sycamore or be it to Mulberry, but at least looking at a portion of 56 that we could reduce the lane width. That anticipates looking at trying to do a downtown study to be able to create something downtown. Given the council's decision to not fund the downtown study, and we've represented to him that we're trying to do this all as a package, we need to go back and re-communicate to him that that's not on the table. Having been a DOT employee in another state, a senior DOT employee in another state for almost 7 years, it's at DOT at this point they probably want to rethink whether or not they want to make that investment. It's a $60,000 investment. If at the end of that study we're going to take that study, but we're really not going to be trying to create that downtown core area, the question becomes, is that really a good use of their funding from the state? We do not have the agreement signed from them. We have it. We've paid legal counsel. We've engaged legal counsel that we would pay to review that. So it's been reviewed by our legal counsel. But when we send it back, I feel it's incumbent upon me to be upfront with him and let him know our direction has changed with our downtown plan, so that he can make that decision on whether or not he would spend that. Based on my experience and having been a DOT employee, I wouldn't spend that money given that information.
All right, now here's
So I just kind of want to make sure that I put that out so the council understands that as well.
Here's my question. I understand that the secretary came in, he looked at our infrastructure, and it was and he wanted to partner with us on a downtown, transportation study. Do we have to do this out, I mean, is there any other alternative to spending $50,000 with a consulting firm to do this downtown study?
Well, here's
I mean,
what,
that's really what it comes down to. I'm not
Let her answer the
against it,
question.
I just, okay?
I think she can speak to it.
Mm-hmm.
here's what you do downtown, with your downtown study. There are different levels of study and analysis. The comprehensive plan
Mm-hmm.
is a very high-level, broad analysis. And at the end of the comprehensive plan, you will get information like, okay, we need to have downtown mixed use. Well, that's simply a color on a map that says mixed use downtown. You get to the DOT component and you're looking at the roadway. It's too wide, you can't cross it, you really can't connect and have people stop because they're passing through because of the width. Beyond that, you start to look at your buildings, you look at your land area, and you start to determine what is mixed use. Is it offices? Is it retail? What do they look like? You know, what's that land use? What's the core of your downtown? So you look at further refining your downtown area. The comprehensive plan, when we bid the comprehensive plan work, we bid that trying to get the downtown piece looked at. We really couldn't based on the funding we had. But part of that comp plan work and part of what those consultants have, and initially they didn't give us the boundaries for a downtown. We asked them to go back and at least sketch them out, but they roughly sketched out what we should look at as the core.
Mm-hmm.
The Economic Development Strategic Plan and our comp plan consultants have talked about the need to look at kind of the future of the city being our downtown plan.
Mm-hmm.
So based on all that information, that's how we got to talking with the secretary about, we know we have to deal with this road. We don't have to take over the roadway, and if we do, we don't have to take it other than for, there are options we can look at in terms of the distance of what we would take over. We, as a city, I wouldn't recommend that we look at taking the bridge. You know, you want to look at what benefits the city for building the downtown core. And it's a policy decision, but I just want to make sure that we understand that we've got another entity that's agreed to partner with us for $60,000 that I think we need to go back and communicate with, rather than have them spend the money for a study, and then when we get the study, we're not going to do the next part of the work.
And can I
So
ask?
let's not have, can
Can I ask a question about
Sure.
the next part of the work? We've got staff members, we've got planners, chief planners, junior planners, and planning technicians. What kind of pieces within our own community development department are we missing that we would need if we wanted to do that plan? I mean, would we have to hire someone?
Well, yes, a downtown plan includes a significant part of graphic work, urban design type work. We don't have that capacity. We do not have the capacity to create the visuals that you would need to develop the downtown plan.
But can I ask a question? But that also, I mean, I get it. You gotta paint a picture.
Right.
It's gotta, be as quaint and
What does it
charming
look like?
as a Massachusetts street in Lawrence. I mean, that's why, that's one of the draws that brought us here. It's like, wow, this downtown could be really something. They had the dolphin song we moved here. There's all kinds of shops that were here. But the problem that you have now, as I see it, is you have, dozens of trucks up and down this road. Now, unless you can show me that KDOT is going to route the trucks around downtown and allow us to have a segment of it, and then somehow pick it back up at the bridge, I don't believe it. I guess what I don't believe is why KDOT wants to get rid of this road. I mean, their goal, as I understand it from the limited amount of reading I've done on the subject, is to create a corridor for trucks on one intermodal all the way to the other